All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome, Mindset Masters, to our new and improved time. It's good to see you guys. I'm glad everybody got the memo. I was a little concerned that I'd be the only one on here today. So, way to follow instructions. Good job. Hopefully, you guys like the new time slot. We're trying to serve more people around the world. And as it is, we have a couple of crazy Hungarians that are still, I think, midnight over there or something, midnight or one. So, welcome, guys. And one thing I noticed too, we had Alexander Foos on here, Ildi, Adam. Some people that are here in the Mindset Masters are also in Thinking Results, also in the Inner Circle, and also one-on-one clients. So I just wanted to really congratulate you guys for super saturating your minds, especially, Ildi and Adam, we work with you one-on-one. So the fact that you guys are here just tells me if you could get one little nugget, one little gleam, one new thing, or more than likely you're here to give, if I know you guys correctly. So I just want to congratulate. I'm going to congratulate everybody here, but it's just really neat to see people. I mean, Alexander's a TIR consultant. He's in our inner circle, but yet he's here at the Mindset Masters trying to either help or gain some information. So, guys, if you could turn your cameras on, that would be amazing. It's always good to see everybody. And if you're brand new, that little meditation was to really just to hit the reset clock. Some of you might be, just get out of work, or might be have some chaos going on or something. So that little meditation is just to get you to reset and to to really open up your minds for the Mindset Master here. So super excited, guys. Why don't we start with some wins? Who's got a win that they want to share to set us off? Oh, all kinds of. Okay, we'll go Ildi, and then Alex, and then who else do we have? Anne, go ahead, Ildi.
Hello, everybody. It seems to be a tiny win, but to me, it's a big one. Imagine I just managed to wake up before the alarm clock went up. This is just great. Actually, this physiologically speaking, this is not so nice to wake up to an alarm clock. It's a shock to the body. And when I can manage to program my mind so that I could just cheat the alarm clock and wake up just couple of minutes earlier, this is just a huge win. When I look at my telephone, that is my alarm clock, and look at the time, there is always a smile on my face. Come on, I've won. And just what you have just said, something very nice, because this is at this moment 1:00 in Hungary, 1:00 a.m. To some people it's late, some people it's early, there is a future client of mine, TIR client. I'm going to close the deal tomorrow. We were supposed to close the deal tomorrow, and they just sent me a message. They could do that the day after tomorrow. And it's 1:00, and she said, "Why don't you go to bed?" And I just told her, "Come on, you know what I'm doing now? I'm just taking part in this beautiful evening with you, Brian, and with the community, with the people." And she said, "Oh, how dedicated you are." And I said, "Yes, because all what I learn, I just embed in the teachings." So this was a beautiful coincidence that you have just mentioned this, and we have done this, and this just builds up everything what we are doing here.
I love it. It sounds like a good win. Good way to set the day or the night or whatever the heck you're doing over there. Alex, did you have one, bud?
Yes. Thank you. I just wanted to share that for at least 2 months, I've been meditating at least twice a day. I've been feeling the happiest. I feel super healthy. I feel wealthy. I feel that I can express myself freely more and more into more people. And I'm super glad for that. And my win is that I decided to move out of my parents' home because I was living with them. But now I went on a weekend vacation in another city in Mexico, and I loved it. It's super cute and everything is super close. And I decided to move here, and I've been living here for a week now. And I'm not going to go out for at least one more week. And my plan is to find a place where I can stay here for a little longer.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, we have a lot of people changing their environment, understanding what that is and changing their environment. So that's an amazing win. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Stacy, you had one?
Yes. So I did what you told me to do.
Uh-oh.
and I put on my calendar to prospect, and I started messaging 10 people a day, and I actually got somebody to sign up. So I got another presenter on, and it was a cold message. And I thought she was going to sign up that day, but she ended up signing up the next day. And I'm super excited about that. And then I just had a little, before this, probably about an hour and a half ago, I had a little call with another presenter who signed up the week before. And she's super excited about the business. She wanted to know more information, and she's got a target market of where she lives to grow her business. So I said, I've got stuff for you. So check the group page and I'll give you some scripts that you can use. So it's actually going really, really well. I only was able to get 2 so far, but I have plans to get 8 more the rest of the day today.
I love it.
So,
Isn't that so
I'm filling up
simple?
my calendar like crazy with stuff and putting it on the calendar so I can see when I'm going to the gym, when I'm working on what projects and so forth.
I love that. And the funny thing is this is a really good illustration of how this all works, because I mentioned that quite a bit. I'm always drilling people about the calendar and schedule and some simple basic things. And Stacey, I know you probably heard that a few months ago, but the last week you're like, you know what, I'm going to implement that. And then you did it, and you blocked out your calendar. Now 10 people a day. It's super simple to do. It's just that it's easy not to do. And then you got people signing up, right? So this is really highlighting the power of how a paradigm can overrule you. You hear a good idea, but we don't implement, but you hear it the 10th time, and all of a sudden, you know what? Let me try that. So congratulations for implementing it. And here's another thing, 10 people a day. If you change that to 11, that's 365 more people in a year. If you change it to 15, right, it's another, almost 2,000 people. So you can play with that number and do what we call habit creep. So maybe next week you do 10 people a day, and the week after you do 11 a day, and then the week after, because you're going to get faster and better than 12, and then 13, 14, 15. Next thing you know, you're doing 30 people a day quick. So that's what we call habit creep. Just a week by week.
And I have one more win too.
Okay.
So you know how I'm doing that web course?
Mm-hmm.
I finally recorded video number 1. So I recorded the first video in the series. I have 14 more to do. And then on top of that, I'm creating a new web course on how to design and build website ads inspired from one of my students. So my students are inspiring me what to do for classes to create. So I'm in the middle of creating a second class. So when the first class is done and recorded, that will go on the website, which is almost designed of what I wanted to do, and the logo is almost exactly where I want it to be. So hopefully by the end of the month, I'll have the logo and website whipped together, and then I can start adding all the videos for the first class when it's done, possibly at the end of the month.
Oh my God, hold on a second. Hope is not a strategy. What's this possibly thing? Use your calendar. We got to change this language.
Well, there's 14 videos, and I got to make sure they're all, and I got to make sure the website's built out correctly.
That's okay. I'm joking, but I'm not joking, right? We wanted to check our language. We want to check our language. Just use your calendar. If it's 15 videos, look at the spots, whatever that is. Pick it out on the days, and maybe it's the end of the month. Maybe it's 4 weeks, but make a plan, have a decision, build a schedule. You'll be able to tell me exactly, because it's some mechanical work you need to do.
Yeah.
So just block it out in your account. You'll know exactly when it's done. That way, if I ask you when you're going to be done, you're like, oh, September 15th.
The official deadline to have the website and logo and both classes up and running, the official deadline date will be before the end of September.
Okay.
Like that will be done, and then I'll be on to the next class. And then I'll be on to the videos for Photoshop and Illustrator, because those will be done in pieces. So, but by September, the website will be done for sure. The logo will be done for sure. The web class will be done. The new web banner class will be done. And then I'll have a chunk of the Photoshop and Illustrator videos up and ready to go. So that way I can still build everything out going forward.
Okay, well, I can see here that Herb's taking notes on you, so you get some accountability here.
Uh-oh.
Awesome. Julissa, you have one?
Yes, I do.
Good.
Hi.
Yeah. How are you?
Good. So I have been putting out that energy with a casting agency, and I landed my first, in years, my first role for Gulf Galaxy, where I'm going to be a customer for their website. And
Very cool.
submitted several times prior to other projects and didn't get it, but it doesn't mean I didn't give up. I just continue trying and put in that positive energy out there.
Love it, love it, love it. Awesome. Awesome, everybody, with some good wins there. So I love the energy, love where everybody's going. Before we get going, I wanted to ask you guys, and you might have some feedback right away, or maybe you want to email it, but we're always looking for feedback on the group, Mindset Masters. You know, are you getting value? Would you like to see something different? That was one of the reasons we changed the time, is we had some feedback. You know, we're obviously, I'm doing everything that I think to give you guys value on the Monday nights and the daily lives and the library, and we're changing up some things. But if you guys see something, you can either bring it up now, you know, something we can improve, or if you want to email support@matrixsuccessnetwork.com and just put in the tagline, you know, suggestion for Mindset Masters. So if you see anything, if anybody has anything now, you can go ahead and bring it up. If you have something like glaring, you know, but if you have something, you think of something, we always want to be improving this. Anybody have anything that comes to mind?
I just would like to recommend, sorry, Brian, I'd like to recommend a tool called Contact Ninja for everyone. I have like 3 levels deep now, affiliates. So actually it's 37 in one first, in the front line, 13 in the second, and 1 on the 3rd level. So that's
I love it.
amazing. That's amazing. We're growing. And I believe that this is an amazing tool. It can give you a chance to build like a really effective mini website. What I do usually is I send out invitations through that. So for example, I have the big picture as like you can click on the big picture, and I'm coming up as an invitation guy, invite you to a Zoom meeting. Then the Zoom meeting is also
Embedded in there, yeah.
embedded in the card. And also we have videos that are explanatory videos. And of course, the BZ card in itself is a great tool for automatically get affiliates, because there's a line, become a Contact Ninja, down at the bottom. So if you scroll down, there's a become a Contact Ninja. Sorry, it's the editing mode. But anyway, you should send these BZ cards. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. It's well, I just say that this is the next best thing since sliced bread. So that's my opinion.
I appreciate that. You guys are rocking and rolling over there in Hungary. It's we can see where it's growing, obviously, and you guys are one of the fastest growing countries. It's been amazing. So I definitely appreciate that. Love it. So if you guys think of anything, again, you can email support@Matrix Success Network. We're always trying to get this better, and always looking for feedback to improve. So appreciate that. I want to do something a little different here, guys, tonight. And something, I was at a mastermind all week. Some of you know that I was there. And one of the people did a grounding exercise that I really liked. And I want to do it with you guys here. And this is recorded. So anytime that you feel either chaotic or just out of whack, you can take out this recording from Monday night and get grounded. So I want you all to play along with me here. And if you have phone, whatever's, any bells or you know, any whistles or bells or notifications, turn them off, turn them over. I want you to just you know, get into a chair or something if you can, get into a calm place. And it's interesting how we never really take the time to breathe in a way that's conducive to like healing and stuff. So one of the things they were sharing with us, and I want you guys to do this, I want you to breathe in a manner that I'm going to suggest, and I'm going to go through a little bit of a guided meditation to get you guys grounded. And the breathing pattern is inhale for 5 seconds, hold for 5, and release for 10. And if you can't do 5, 5, 10, you can do 4, 2, 8 or something. But the idea is to like, and then act like you're blowing up a balloon or something. If you blow out like, so some of you guys, like I said, 5 might be a little long, 10 might be a little long, but the idea, I want you guys to start doing this. Breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hold for a couple seconds, and then let it out for twice as long. So just work with that for a minute. Breathe in for 5, hold for 5, out for 10 if you can. And ideally, close your eyes, get relaxed. I want to bring you through a grounding exercise to get you really, really connected. Breathe in. I want you to really focus on the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold for 1, 2, 3. And then breathe out through your lips for up to 10 seconds if you can. Watch how calm you get. That's all I want you to keep focused on. Spend a couple of minutes doing that. In for 5, hold for 5, out for 10 if you can. When we did this, we did it for a little while. I got like so relaxed. You can do this anytime, anywhere too. If you're stressed out, if you see that you're getting chaotic. And I want you to just sit and relax. The only thing I want you to focus on is the count of breathing in for 5, hold for 5 seconds, out for 10, or whatever works for you. And I want you to imagine at the base of your spine, there is a mass, a bundle of nerves. It's sometimes called the second brain. This is where your intuition is, your ability to sense. All right, I see some of you are still fidgeting, so close your eyes, tune into the breathing. I promise you this is going to help you. If you're looking at your screen or something else, if you're distracted, turn it off. Focus on your breathing. In for 5. Hold for a couple seconds, and then focus on breathing out. Just get calm, relaxed. Think about this massive energy at the base of your spine, where all your nerves are gathered. That's where your intuition is. And I want you to picture either a rope or an anchor or roots, whatever picture you can get of being grounded. Picture that energy mass at the base of your spine, and then either a rope or like a light or maybe an anchor, something pulling you down to the earth. And picture that rope or that light, whatever it is you have attached to the base of your spine, pulling down and down and down and moving all the way to the center of the earth, right? The earth has a molten core. This is where all the grounding is. So just picture yourself rooted. If you picture yourself like a tree, picture yourself rooting into the earth and your roots going down and down and down towards the center of the earth. If you're picturing a light, picture that energy just going down to the center of the earth. And if you're picturing like a rope and an anchor, picture that rope getting thicker and thicker and thicker and stronger, like a rope that they would use to tie in like a cruise ship or something. Just really being planted and grounded and growing into the earth. And I want you to think about letting go, any stresses, letting go and letting God, casting off any issues or problems or struggles that you have. It's not our business to worry. It's not our business to fear or doubt. It's only our business to visualize what we want, where we're going, and to let go and let God, or to cast off. Everything is a co-creation. We're only supposed to do our part, and worrying is not your business. That's praying for what you don't want. So picture that light getting brighter, picture that rope getting longer, picture your roots getting deeper, going down to the center of the earth. And I just want you to let go and let God and really feel your vibration raising. Feel the calmness, feel that being grounded, tapping into the earth's core. Imagine the energy, the vibration, the grounding of being that connected to the earth. And again, I want you to be calm and just cast off anything, any doubts, anything that's in conflict with your goals. And I want you to picture your goal. Keep breathing though. Let's get back into the breathing if you stopped. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in. Hold it for a couple of seconds and then blow out for twice as long. And I want you to think about what your main goal is, just one goal. A lot of times people get scattered. They're thinking about 100 different things. What is the main thing? If this one thing happened, it would change everything. If this one thing happened, it would change your entire life. Maybe it's a certain rank. Maybe it's your book going international. Maybe it's hitting a certain income. Maybe it's selling a home or something. What does it feel like having that goal achieved? What are you doing? What is the income doing? Where are you living? I want you to keep breathing, keep doing that, and keep picturing being grounded to the earth. What does it really feel like? A lot of times we say, what does it feel like? But I want you to really think about this goal and really visualize, what does it feel like hitting that 6 figures a month? Whatever that is to you, whatever your goal is. Maybe it's a health goal. What does it feel like stepping on stage? Maybe it's a relationship goal. What does it feel like being with that one person? All right, guys, and think about this goal and think about calm, easy, effortless. It's not our business to struggle or to fear or doubt. If you do certain things in a certain way, by law, you will get to your goals. All right, guys, so think about that goal, and I want you to come back to me here and just use that. That's only about a 5 minutes, maybe a 10-minute breathing exercise we did. That's something you guys could do every day. You can do it with yourselves. You can play this again. You can clip this off. Maybe I'll have my team clip out this little section. That's what I'll do. And I found it was very good. By the time we were done that in the audience, I was like vibrating high, but just really, really calm. And I had my goal grounded into me because I was grounded into the earth. So hopefully you get some value out of that. It's another thing you guys can do to calm your mind and get focused back on, what it is you're pursuing. All right, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Now, what I want to do now, I want to give you guys just a couple of minutes here. Write down any questions you have, right? In the Mindset Masters, you guys are supposed to be coming with questions about any of the content. If you guys are watching daily, if you're not getting the emails, you should be soon, of the daily live replays. We're trying to deliver this stuff better. So live on Facebook, it's in the units, and you're also going to get it in your email. But when you're watching these throughout the week, write down any questions you have so you can bring them to the Monday night. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes here to write down any questions you have in business, anything about the universal laws we teach, anything health-wise that we can help you with.
Brian, can I say something?
Sure.
I'm headed to Manhattan on Thursday, and I had this idea of bringing my books to different publishing companies and just dropping off with a business card. And while I was doing that meditation, I foresaw myself talking to someone while I was there and them picking up my book, which is so powerful.
I love it. That's what happens when you kind of clear your mind. It brings you back to focus. And I asked you guys to focus on one thing. It's so easy to focus on 12 things, But what's the one thing in your life that if that happened would be like, and usually for most people, it's a level of income based on an achievement. You crack that first 10,000 a month residual, you can quit your job, whatever that looks like. It changes everything, Never mind $1 million a month. I'm talking that first goal that really sets you guys free. That's what I would focus on. So awesome. Well, who has questions? What can I help you guys with?
Brian, I have a question.
Sure. What do you got, Lisa?
I'm in bed now because my kids have graciously passed on their head cold. So excuse me, but I am here. I just wondered, could we talk a bit about goals? I know we have to focus on our C-type goal and hold that vision, but maybe breaking it down, we just suggest into, 90 days, 60 days, 30 days. How would you best go about breaking down your goal into, I guess, achievable steps or manageable steps, so you can really get a clear picture of what you should be doing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to go for that target?
Sure. I mean, it really depends on what your goal is. Like, one of my goals is for my software company. It's just not going to happen in 90 days, but we do have 90-day targets. So I think it depends on the industry you're in, but, a 90-day blitz, for example, is a good thing to do in sales or network marketing, where I know you're in both of those. And that's where you just, what you're doing is you're neutralizing your conscious mind, because you're saying, okay, I'm going to do this for 90 days. You're not saying 12 months. If you say 12 months, it sounds like a prison sentence, and it's like, it just seems like difficult, but 90 days, it's like, I could probably do that. And if I do this thing for 90 days, it's going to change my life. So this is a common thing in network marketing that Eric Worre teaches. He teaches people at the first of each year to do a 90-day blitz, but I'm talking about something that's all out. Like 90 days of recruiting every day. I mean, he's talking about going after and recruiting like 30 people and then working with those 30 people for the remaining 9 months. And then you repeat the next year, 90-day blitz, recruit 30 people, and then you work with those people intensely. So that's one variant of a 90-day blitz. And I think it's probably a good thing to do in sales too. Just hit the reset button. It kind of, what it does, it causes you to analyze what you're doing. And then when we look at that, it's like, geez, am I really going all in? Am I really, putting in world-class effort? What is my goal? If my goal is, well, what is your goal, Lise?
C-type will be 20K per month.
Okay. So 20K a month is actually not that hard to get to. I mean, it may sound like it is, but once you get moving, it's not. So the reason for doing like a 90-day blitz is to shorten the cycle, right? We don't want to take 10 years to get to 20K when we can do it in 6 months. So that's the kind of the methodology behind it. But usually when you go on a 90-day blitz, you got to talk to your family and the people around you, and you got to build a support system and say, listen, for 90 days, I'm not going to be available here, here, and here, and I need your support here. So usually when somebody's going to do something like that, they get some other people involved. They let them know. Otherwise, you don't want to alienate your spouses or, alienate your family for too long when you're doing something like that. Makes sense? That's why for me, so in network marketing, I've never done a 90-day blitz. I've always done the 5-hour work week model because I have software and I had my construction, I have consulting. So I've always done, I'm like, I do the steady build, and I just do that thing and I just do it. My calendar guides me and that works too, So hopefully that helps.
Yes, thank you.
Who else has questions around, well, anything, but anybody else around goal setting? Mr. Alex, what do you got?
My question is, how do I know if I'm focusing on the right goal?
I mean, you'll feel it, right? It should resonate. If you're doing something like a lot of people do things that they are comfortable with, but it's not their C-type goal or their goal. But the other thing is not to worry about it too. When you say the right goal, there's no real right or wrong. I'll give you a good example. It's probably the best thing to do. Years ago when I got in front of this information, I set a goal of growing my construction company, right? From $1 million to 10 million. And I set a goal of being the top recruiter in my network marketing company. Neither one of those companies exist anymore. But I pursued those for the 12 months and I met Bob Proctor on the way. I made a lot of money in construction, which allowed me to invest in my software company, and one door led to the next. So don't think so much about right and wrong. Just think about, at your present level of awareness, grabbing onto something that you have passion for, that if you achieve that goal, let's say it was Lisa's 20K a month. If she hits that goal, or when she hits that goal, it's going to change everything. I mean, it's going to change everything in her life. She's going to be able to just live a completely different way with her kids. So, grab a hold of something like that, like in the next 12 or 24 months. Boy, if I hit that goal, it'll really improve everything. So for me, like with the construction, it did. It gave me a ton of money. I ended up leaving construction, starting software, meeting Bob, becoming a consultant with him. And that's why you guys are all here. So you're not really going to know the bigger deal, but don't think about it as right and wrong. Just think about what's in front of me now that I'm passionate about. Does that help?
A lot. Thank you.
Yeah, good. What other questions you guys got?
I actually have one, Brian.
Hey, Peter, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing good, thank you. I'm just wondering, especially when it came to the breathing you showed, which is pretty neat, but for some reason I still, when I'm counting on my counts, the 5 seconds, I cannot really go into the other thinking part. So is this just because it's new, or?
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah, 100%. I mean, That's why I'm gonna get this one section clipped off for you guys. We'll
Okay.
send the recording, but so it's good to listen to it probably over and over. And it is brand new. So you were concentrating on breathing, and then I'm talking to you. But a guided meditation, which is what that was, that's really the deal. You're supposed to focus on your breathing because it neutralizes your conscious mind, and whatever I'm saying goes right into your subconscious. That's the purpose of a guided meditation. You focus on your breathing, whoever's talking, the information, because your subconscious can't reject it because you're focused on your breathing. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. But also one more question. Why is this a 5-5-10?
It can be, it's whatever works for you. It can be 4, 2, 8, but it's.
No, but I mean, why is it the double? Because the question I'm asking specific, when I started or going into the meditation, we had actually somebody who says 5 seconds breathing in, 5 second hold, 5 second breathing out, and 5 seconds stop again before you're breathing in again. So that's why it's a completely different technique. That's why I'm asking.
Well, that would work too. It's really just to get your conscious mind focused intently on something.
Okay,
That would work just as fine. It's whatever you're comfortable with.
perfect. Thanks, man.
But the idea is to get the conscious mind not scattered, thinking about 100. That's what happens to us.
Mhm.
But when you're breathing and counting, it's pretty intense. Your eyes are closed. You can hear yourself. It's almost like Bob says to look at a candle. Try and do that one. You instantly lose attention. But when you're focused on breathing, I find that it's easier to maintain, and then the information goes into the subconscious. But whatever works for you, that other way would be just as fine.
I see this here. Tarifa said this with a candle, but I don't know what that means.
So Bob has something, it's a test of willpower, sitting in a dimly lit room, putting a candle and becoming one with the candle, just focusing on just thinking flame. You'll see what happens. You'll start thinking about a million other things. And it's like, no, I'm one with the flame, one with the flame, one with the flame. Or Bob talks about putting a dot on the wall and just becoming one with the dot. It shows you how weak our willpower can be, and our attention, the ability to focus attention. So these are exercises. The thing I like about the breathing is it's serving multiple purposes. You're hyperoxygenating your body, right? Taking that big breath and holding it, and then blowing it out twice as long. That does other things as well. There's a lot of benefits to breathing like that.
That's perfect. Thank you so much, man.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, Tharifa knows a lot about this too. She says the magic in the breathing is that during the exhale. That's probably why it's twice as long. What other questions you guys got?
Hey, good evening, Brian. I have a question. How are you, sir?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Good, good. Obviously, in your daily lives, and even tonight, you alluded to and talked about a little bit about last week. Can you share? I'm sure you got a wealth of nuggets and a wealth of information. Can you share the biggest thing or the biggest takeaway that you had from last week? Whether, obviously.
No, 1,000,000%. I already know it right off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Focus on your health. There was quite a few billionaires in the room and people that had sacrificed quite a bit for business and got into some pretty serious toxic health situations. And if there was one thing that was glaring, these people say, all this is useless without your health. You can have $100 million and be a complete burden to your entire family because you neglected your health for 40 years. So that's on my girl will tell you, I recommitted to my own health. I used to be a damn drill sergeant with my health. And as we've been building companies over the past few years, for me, I've slacked off. I'm not out of shape probably to most people, but for me, it's not anywhere near what I was. I was like a conditioned athlete. I was working out twice a day. I mean, boxing, kickboxing, lifting, stretching, yoga, cycling, water skiing, snow skiing. I was probably out of balance doing too much of that, And then when I shifted into businesses and stuff and working with Bob, I just noticed that I've slacked off a little there. But some of these people they had some stories about health. So eating good, using what we teach here. We know in this group that we should eat healthy, exercise mentally, physically. We know this stuff. And it's the knowing doing gap. It's changing the programs in our subconscious mind. So it's not a money tip I'm going to give you. It's not an investing tip. It's health, 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 brother.
Hey, Brian, can you define toxic? Because some people will consider toxic working 7 days a week, and some people consider toxic not eating healthy. Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, that's really good, Vince, honestly. So I can work 7 days a week, but I love everything I do. These are all my companies. That's not even work to me. I'm just living. If you're working at a factory at a job you hate 7 days a week, that's toxic. So I think the same with Bob. Like, Bob hasn't needed money in 6 decades. Let that one sink in. He hasn't needed money since most of us been alive. He loves teaching. He doesn't go golfing. He very rarely goes on vacations unless his wife drags him. He lives up in Canada where it's cold. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He says, he doesn't care. He's got his studio. He's got $1 million studio. He can broadcast all over the world. He's got his symphony music playing, and he's got his little dog, and he just goes out into his studio and he creates content and broadcasts around the world. And how can I be better? How can I reach more? So he works. He's up at 5 every day and in the studio by 6. Actually, he's in the studio by 5, I think. He studies for an hour. So if by some means, people will be like, wow, you work a lot. He's like, I haven't worked in years. So it's toxic when we're doing something that we don't want to do. Whatever that is. Toxic relationship, toxic work habits, toxic eating habits,
I think you might, I think you hit a point, because for me, toxic has been not being able to say no. And I learned it later in life, but it's still an issue. For instance, now I have friends, customers, clients, whatever. People are shorthanded here and they're calling you on Saturday and Sunday to work and this, that, and the other thing. But one of my goals is the ability to be able to say no and walk away.
Yeah, it is. I've been guilty of that one myself, especially when you're running companies and stuff. And you don't necessarily have to say no. You can delegate, especially if it's like customer and customer support type stuff. You can replace yourself with somebody that is 24/7, like a call center or something. So they're just getting answered, and then the call center leads to somebody that is working during the week. So sometimes saying no might just be delegating, and other times it is just saying no. You got to have the time off. You got to have the family time. I've definitely been guilty of that one, especially when I was younger, and I probably, ruined some relationships over it. Just really being sort of a workaholic, trying to, cut my own way as a young man. So I've done that. I've been out of balance like that in the past, But it's a good question. I love Michelle is on like a flight. She's in the plane, like got us going, like, woo. Don't make sure nobody yells bomb.
Just a comment here. I think that thinking in systems is something that we all need to consider. That systems can take just to take off our load. If you
sure, yeah, systems.
If we establish like really like processes that we can set up. Person, okay, this is the first video, and then watch the rest, and then come back in 7 days after you watch it all. These are the type of things that I think can definitely, if you do something repetitively.
That's a really good point.
Think about it. You don't need to do it repetitively. You just need to set up a system.
That's a really good point. So yeah, Vince, I mean, I don't know what you're going through with some of the, things you have to say no to or whatever, customer service, but anybody here, if you find yourself doing anything or explaining something repetitively in your downline, your team, your kids, whatever that is, I love that. If you find yourself explaining something over and over again, make a video. Make an instructional video and point to the video. It's network marketing 101. I mean, we're doing that. We're systematizing our company. What do you got there?
This is Gerber's E-Myth, sorry. This is the E-Myth.
Oh yeah, the E-Myth.
Brilliant book.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant way to establish your systems approach to things.
I love
Michael Gerber's E-Myth.
Yeah, that's what Stacy's doing too for her thing, right? So if you find a system, make a video, systematize. That'll help you guys from that repetitive time wasting. So, what are the questions? Anything else I can help with, guys? Any resistance you guys have in your lives here?
I have a question.
Sure.
So do you know who Andy Friselli is? He does a 75 hard challenge.
Is he the creator of it?
Yes,
Yeah, I'm familiar with the challenge. I have quite a few of my clients that have done that. It's freaking gangster.
it is gangster. And I started for 13 days.
What's that?
And I did it for 13 days.
Then what happened?
And then my friend passed away, so I drank wine, and I was going to restart it because you have to follow the program. Otherwise, if you fall off of it, you restart from the beginning.
So that's a very good, this is a very good example. Very good example, especially something as strong as like your friend passing away. And then going to the wine, right? So we would look at that. It's like, oh, this made me do that, but that's not the case. It's the opposite, right? It's living from the inside out. It's you allow the environment to cause you to ignore a command you gave yourself. So it's a discipline thing.
Yeah.
And this may sound like a harsh thing, but it's a good example, right? It's so like it's easy with the easy stuff, but as it gets more and more like that, but you know, your friend passing away, why would that stop you from working out twice that day? Especially you.
And I didn't work out either.
Yeah. So it's something to look at. I'm not, it's just, it's a bigger example. This is what happens this is the difference between the people I was in the room with last week and the masses. That's the difference. The 1%, they don't let the outside world pull them around, pull them off track. Even something like that.
But I thought of something differently.
Mm-hmm.
I implemented my own. It's similar to the 75 hard, but I decided I'm going to do an 8-week challenge.
So what you did is because it got hard, you made something easier.
Actually, no, it
No?
wasn't. It's not easier.
Okay.
It's because I see so many people say that it's when they're working a lot, they're sacrificing time with family, sacrificing work, working out twice a day. I implemented just working out for an hour and a half in the morning, but also implementing meditation and reaching out to 10 people a day for your business and so forth.
Yeah, no, that could be a good challenge, but the reason why it's called 75 hard is for that. And the first thing, when Lauren asked, what was the biggest nugget I got from last week? It was health. It's like, what you're really saying is it's okay to sacrifice work. It's not a sacrifice from your family if you're working out, bring them with you. But that's 75 hard is for a reason. And I'm telling you, it's to build and highlight paradigm. Your paradigm is going to be like, man, it's too hot out. It's raining, because you have to work out outside one day too, once out of the day. And my boy Ben, who's in the inner circle, did it in the middle of winter in New England, and he did it. He went right through. I'm like, holy cow, crazy bastard. But it is, that's paradigm. If anybody does something like that and you stop, it's not good or bad. I'm not beating you up, but it does highlight how strong a paradigm is. But like I said, the difference between the people in the room that I was with is when they make a decision, they stick to it, irregardless of COVID, 9/11, funerals. It's not a harsh, cold thing either. It's an inside out thing, you know?
But did these people state that if they tried something, if they failed, they didn't give up, they just continued going?
Of course not. No, and don't beat yourself up. Don't, it's just all it does is highlight how strong paradigm is. It's not a bad thing.
You only fail when you quit.
Yeah. And it says right in 75 hard, start over. So it's designed for that, but I would love to see you do the 75 days straight since you made the decision to do it.
Well, I had a vision of implementing my own.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I decided to implement my own, similar, but added a little and modified it. Just because I like, even when I work out, I like modifying my workouts too.
Sure. So it's just something you're going to do for you?
I'm actually sharing it I'm sharing it every day on social media. That's part of it.
So this is something where now you're going to be careful. Yet another thing you're putting energy and time into instead of your book.
Well, I'm doing a lot of things.
I know, but you got to look at results over time.
Yeah.
It's so easy. We all do this, right? Something new. Now there's some bandwidth going to that, but you already have 6 other things you're working on. So just be careful.
And that's why I stated about the 75 hard.
Yeah.
It was getting away from other stuff that I was working on versus why not utilize my time for an hour and a half and work out at the gym or outdoors, just one time a week. I mean,
Gotcha.
one day instead of twice a day.
Yeah, I've been careful not to start the 75 hard because I know what it is. If I do, I'll do it, but it's a commitment. It's no joke. So
No drinking wine.
I know, no alcohol, I know.
There's
Hey,
something to
Brian.
that. There's something, Brian, I can say about this, what Julie just mentioned. I was reading actually the biography of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he actually talks about, and then we're talking about the level you're talking about, Brian, about
Mhm.
people higher up. He actually, when his mom passed away, he did not get knocked out of the situation. He was training for his competition tournament at the time. So he was totally focused on his competition to get in shape. So when his mom passed away, people completely like punished him, like, what the heck you doing? It's your mother. And he stayed focused. And so there is the different level of activity for certain people, and we getting kicked out easily of certain things, right?
Mm-hmm. That's the deal. Yeah, Arnold's a really, he's one of my favorites too. You want to talk about discipline and willpower, and he's definitely, so he's what I would call an unconscious competent. It means he lived his life a certain way, but he probably could not teach you why he did that. He can teach you what he did, but not why he was so disciplined. That the subconscious program stored in his subconscious mind controlling those behaviors. But he's a perfect example of somebody at a very high level that understands discipline, give myself a command and follow it. And just, again, look at his results, look at his results. So that's that 1% thinking,
Hey, Brian.
Hey, it sounds like Leslie. Where you at?
It is. I'm talking through a mask, but I do have a question for you. Can you
Sure.
explain like the biggest difference between desire and want, and how that drives your kind of your habits toward a goal?
Sure. I mean, I think desiring and wanting are two different words to describe the same thing. It's a frequency. It's an emotion. Desire is like an emotion, like anger or fear or happiness. But it's a wanting. It's really the same way, the same thing expressed differently, right? Wanting and desiring things. But what I can say to you to take it a deeper level is, I think people stop desiring things and they say things, well, like, I'm comfortable, I'm doing okay, because they lose the belief that they can achieve them. Says, I'm comfortable, I'm doing okay, I don't really want anymore. That's never the truth. But it is something that people tell themselves so they feel comfortable where they're at. And it usually comes from a belief system of not believing that they could achieve the thing. They see somebody else, in their company get to, 20 grand a month, but it's not easy, right? You got to do certain things in a certain way. You got to have persistence and consistency and study. And for some reason, and this is most of the world, we see somebody else doing something, but we don't think we can do it. And I think that's when we say things like, you know what, I'm doing fine. Everything's fine. I'm comfortable. But desire is an emotion, some people have a weak desire. Some have a burning hot desire. It's that inner emotion that triggers really everything. That's why you guys are here.
Brian, would it be safe to say that the difference between a want and a desire is the commitment?
Because
if you really want something, you're committed.
But now if you really just, now you're just putting the word really in front of want or desire, right? So there's levels of want or desire, but I don't know what would differentiate a want and a desire. I think it's two ways to say the same thing.
Well, desire. Hi, Brian. This is Alex.
Hey, what's up, bud?
Desire is, like you said, is an emotion. Wanting it's not necessarily a desire. It's coming from a place of being without. So you're already subconsciously training your mind and subconscious to say, I don't have it. So that's why they suggest using the word desire, because it's an emotion.
Yeah, I like that, because that is true. If you have something, that's a really good point, Alex. If you're in your affirmations, if you say, oh, I want to get to 100,000 a month, you're telling yourself you don't have it in the same exact statement. So for that purpose, I would definitely use desire over want. I think desire has more of a harmonious meaning. It's in Think and Grow Rich. So for that reason, I would definitely use desire over want. It's a really good point. And that's why when we do affirmations, it's always as if it's already happened. I'm so happy and grateful now that, and then blah, blah, blah. But that's why. So if you guys are saying I want something, in the same exact sentence, you're saying I don't have it. And to dig a little deeper, as soon as you have the idea of something, you have it. As soon as you set a goal with intention, you're repeating it every day, you've created it in the energy state with your mind. You're thinking about it. Thoughts become things. The conscious mind moves energy into motion. So the tip of the sword is to start to play with an idea from a fantasy to like a theory, where it becomes, wait a minute, maybe I could go for this. And you're playing with it every day. You're repeating it every day over and over. And then you start to take action. And that's when you start the transmutation of energy towards the physical manifestation. So Alex, thanks for that. That's a good point.
Brian, when you say I'm so happy and grateful that, it just means that it's done.
It's done, yeah.
Yes. So this is so beautiful. This affirmation, together with I'm so happy and grateful, and it's done.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's no want in it. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
No,
just-
I've removed the word want from my vocabulary.
Yes.
But I think that's the real deal. Getting back to Vince, what you were saying, people lose hope when they don't believe that it's possible, but everything's possible. So what we're really doing here in the Mindset Masters is just educating you guys on who and what you are, so that you don't need to know how, you just need to make a decision and move towards what you want. That's when God steps in and says, oh, I guess you're serious. Let's go for it together. So awesome, guys. We're going to clip out that little meditation if you guys want to use that as a separate little thing. Hopefully you got some value out of tonight. Again, any suggestions, send them to support@matrixsuccessnetwork.com. And until next week, be well and God bless. We'll see you guys soon.
Yes.
Okay.